2.5 years. Amongst many, the biggest problem has been that United have never had a worse defence in the Premier League. Players to go in the summer. One other side note today, the fans are torn. Yes, they want to beat City, but that could help their even bigger rivals Liverpool to win the league. A rare conundrum. For City, it's simple. Win today and then against Burnley, Leicester and Brighton, and they will become back-to-back Premier League champions, the first time that's happened in a decade. But if United choose to spoil the party, then they may well be handing the title to Liverpool. It is arguably the best title race in the history of the Premier League. And today is massive.
Welcome to Premier League Live, presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So a reminder of how the top half looks, the title race situation. Nothing less than a victory today for Manchester City will do, because if they draw or lose, then it will be in Liverpool's hands with 3 games to go. Manchester United sitting in 6th. They're only 3 points off Chelsea, and this is their game in hand, just like it's City's game in hand today. So United, if they want to play Champions League football next season, they need to finish in that top 4. They've got to keep up with the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal, who play today, their game in hand against Wolves. Welcome inside the studio, Rebecca Lowe, Robbie Earle, Robbie Mustoe on what is quite a day. We're going to have a pitchside desk at Old Trafford. We'll talk to Arlo White, Graham Lasso and Lee Dixon shortly. We'll also have a comprehensive breakdown chat on all 22 players, on every starter for this momentous, it feels, Manchester derby. So let's get to those starters, shall we? The Kia starting lineups, and we can begin with Manchester United. Robbie Mustoe.
5 changes, Rebecca, to a team that lost on Sunday against Everton, and it looks like a back 3 or a back 5 there, with Darmian, I think, would probably be preferred to play in that back 3, allowing Ashley Young's protection in a right wing-back situation. Very important job for Fred in the middle of midfield. He'll be holding there. He's got to try and track those advanced midfield players of Manchester City. Now, this team is also built to counter-attack very quickly. Paul Pogba in midfield, Andreas Pereira, attack-minded players that will try and get forward all the time. Jesse Lingard in a role that looks like, again, it's very close to the striker, Marcus Rashford. This team is built to defend deeply, but counter-attack very quickly.
This is, would you believe, United's longest streak without a clean sheet since 1998. The pre-match thoughts of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Ole, 5 changes from Sunday. Tell us about the reaction.
Well, we'll see on the pitch. We've talked enough, and I've said enough, players have said enough, and we just need to get a performance on the pitch. Of course, the players are disappointed, hurt. The pride, when you lose games like we did, is always taking a hit.
How much of a gamble is wholesale changes like that?
Well, 2 were forced, or a couple were forced, so so it's not too many. We had a decision to make before the game on what shape we wanted to do, and that's the shape we went with, and then that meant changes.
Despite this being a derby and looking to show a reaction from Sunday as well, how key is it that your players play with composure tonight if you want to get something out of this?
Well, in a derby you need loads of composure, you need desire, you need attitude, but it might be heated out there as well, so you might have to just, as you say, compose yourself, get the ball down, play, because we know City are the best team in the country keeping the ball. They do have the possession, so we need to try to play when we can as well.
More than 3 points, what would a win give you tonight?
Let's talk about after, but of course every footballer, we're human beings, we're not robots, and performances and results always give confidence and boost. So when you lose a game you take a knock, when you win a game you're confident after. So we're focused on a good performance, well concentrated, stay in the game, of course, get the crowd behind us, try to get a few chances early on, and the first goal always is important in these games.
Thanks, Ollie.
Thank you.
The defending champions, how are they looking, Robbie Earle?
Yeah, Edison in goal. He's got 10 more clean sheets than David De Gea so far this season. Vincent Kompany's back at the heart of the defence, not only for his ability, but his calm leadership skills in what's a huge game for his team. Walker and Zinchenko in the full-back positions look for them to drift into midfield when City have possession. Fernandinho's back to anchor the side. Gundogan and Silva will look to break forward from central. Ahead of them, Bernardo Silva starts on the right. On the left-hand side, Raheem Sterling has become one of the first names on the team sheet. 17 goals, 9 assists in an impressive season. And Sergio Aguero leads the line. He likes playing against Manchester United. He's got 8 goals in 11 Premier League appearances against the Reds.
We'll hear from the manager Pep Guardiola in just a moment, but first, he has seen it all before. The defender, the captain, Vincent Kompany.
Vincent, you've played in more of these derbies than any other Manchester City player. How much of that experience will you need to call upon tonight?
I don't know. Every derby is different, but having said that, it is a derby, so as much as I want people to stay calm, I want people to, you know, play their best, I still think that when you have that derby attitude, mentality, I think it gets you further. I think that's what I want to see today.
Pep, fantastic 10 wins in a row. It sounds simple, but how much is the task? Just to simply keep doing what you're doing.
Well, the last 4 games we have, so what we have done, not the last 10 games, you know, the season was incredible good, but we know the reality, so we have an opponent, incredible results as well, so and coming here in Old Trafford to, you know, the only one result it works is win-win. It's not easy, but always the idea, since we are together 3 years ago, prepare every game to try to win, and we're going to try.
Do you treat this any differently because it's a derby?
No, it's that is easy games because the players should be so focused, and the United players too. Every derby is special, and just to prepare what they can do, what we can do to try to beat them.
The 3 players you've brought into the team tonight, Da Silva, Fernandinho and Vincent Kompany, as well as their ability, does their experience count this evening?
Yeah, of course. It's a special game and it's important, yeah, of course. But I decide for this one. So the selection always I think a lot, what is the best, this side or the other side, this player or the other player. But at the end, if you had to choose for another one, I would trust the same, like the same guys. And today I put in the start 11.
Ultimately, what do you think you've got to do tonight to get all 3 points?
Be ourselves. They are going to start so strong for their people because after 1 defeat 4-0, you make an extra. And lineup showed me that. So a lot of players, a lot of commitment in terms of defensive side and work, close both sides. And that's the respect. Rashford, Lingard runs in behind. So that is the game we expect.
Today feels like something special might happen. Robbie, for you, how defining is this game in this season's title race?
Not totally, but incredibly important. Incredibly important, because the league changes at 5 o'clock Eastern time, in 3 hours from now, the league changes. So up to this point, we know there's been 2 outstanding teams. They've shown that. But at no point really, Rob, is it felt like, oh, they're the definite favourites. No definite favourites. But at the end of this game, whatever the one of the 3 possible outcomes, there will be a definite favourite. And that changes things. That adds new expectations. That brings new pressures to the teams that is favourite, because 3 games left for both sides, all very winnable games. But I tell you what, if you're there and you're a big favourite and you don't win it, then you feel like you've thrown it away. So it's a massive game today.
There's Guardiola in the away dugout, just starting to get himself prepared for this one. Of course, if City win, they'll be the favourites. If City drop points, then Liverpool will be the favourites. The form, 10 Premier League wins in a row for Manchester City. It tells you that they should win this game. But this, as we heard Vincent Kompany talk about, is a derby. How much does that have an effect on this one, do you think?
It's a strange one, Rebecca, because I'm kind of nervous for both sides. Why am I nervous for City? Because it's a derby. Because United are motivated to beat their rivals, and a terrible performance against Everton will feel you'll get a reaction. And we have seen a bump from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with this team in the likes of Spurs in the league, or PSG in that magical night in Paris. They can have one-night performances. From United's point of view, why am I nervous? If City score early, Pep talked about it, if City dominate the ball, if City kind of play as well as they can, it could get embarrassing again for Manchester United and show the disparity between these 2 teams. One going that way, and at the moment, one going badly the other. And from City's point of view, there's extra motivation, Rebecca. 7 days ago, we were talking about a quadruple, and then they got dramatically boomed out of the Champions League, and then all of a sudden, 7 days later, we could be saying that they've handed the advantage to the Premier League title over to Liverpool.
Do you get the sense that Pep has to win this? Not the game, the title.
Yeah, I think you do now with the way that people have talked about this team and him as a manager. And of course, we all knew it was about the Champions League. They got knocked out. It does feel like he's got to win it now. And he just can't afford his team or players to make mistakes in this game, because United will pounce on them in that counter-attack. If they don't make mistakes, City win this match.
That is the City perspective. It is all about the title race. Let's take you live to Old Trafford. Pitchside for us, the team are all set. Lee Dixon, Graham Lasso alongside Arlo White as they talk Manchester United. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca. Hello, everybody. Yeah, lovely shots there of Pep Guardiola, who was out around about an hour before the game. In fact, he's just walked behind us now, back to the dressing room after spending a bit of time on the away bench. Gentlemen, it's a nightmare scenario for a lot of these Man United fans that are gathering here. Win or draw, and they hand the initiative in the title race to the team that they absolutely loathe, Liverpool Football Club. But let's go on the starting 11 that he's sending out here today, Graham. Has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in response to what happened on Sunday, gone very defensive and cautious?
Well, I would have thought that he'd go for a team where he's trying to get the maximum character out of each individual player and reliability. Robbie Mustoe was mentioning it. It looks like they're going with a back three, but possibly it could be a back four with Darmian at right back and then Young pushing further forwards. But he needs to plug gaps, and he needs to make sure that the team are reliable. And that's going to mean that every single player is going to have to understand what's being asked of them. They've got pace up front. So I really feel that, you know, they're going to be tight across the back, try and deny City any space and then hit them on the break.
United have got to be really careful tonight. I know there's a backlash after the weekend, a terrible result, terrible performances. The manager's been vocal, said everything he needs to say about what he expects of them, expects a reaction. These fans expect a reaction. All of that stuff is going on. But if you can go a different way in a derby match, you can get too hyped up before the game. Yeah, we've got to do well, we've got to do better. This is a derby, we've got to go almost come out too fired up. If they come out too fired up tonight, and the lineup suggests that they won't do that, but if they did, if they've got a little bit carried away, this is a team, and the lads will tell you, we've played against teams that can rip you apart. And this Man City side, if United are not on it defensively with their mind as well, they could be in massive trouble if they concede early.
Edison out with the goalkeepers and the goalkeeping coach first here at Old Trafford. Just let me clear one thing up as former players. This whole idea of wanting to lose or not minding losing because it stuffs up your biggest rivals in winning the title race, that's a fans' construct, isn't it? Not players. They don't think that, do they?
It is. I mean, when we won the league at Anfield for Blackburn. Manchester United were playing down at West Ham. The atmosphere within the ground was really strange, and that did have an impact on us as players, because you know that the fans are a bit ambivalent about what the result is. They actually don't want to hand that over. I'm sure you've been in the same situation.
Well,
but as players, you just want to win.
No, with players, they're a bit fully focused. I know 8 United fans who are so-called friends of mine, and every single one of them wants Liverpool to fail at trying to win the league. Yeah. So that means that they're losing tonight. They won't be that bothered. That's the fans, and that's the 8 I know. So I wonder what these lot think.
And let's not forget, the Manchester United, Rebecca, are only 3 points off the top 4. They need a victory here to keep that going. Chelsea, the visitors, here on Sunday as well. Well, we'll send it back to you. Plenty more to come from pitchside. At the moment, we're dodging the showers from some rather ominous-looking dark clouds. Back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, chaps. It's a grey old sky at Old Trafford. 90 minutes ago, we had a waterfall coming through the roof. April showers and then some. It is the, though, perfect weather for a proper game of football with so much on the line.
The Premier League on NBCSN is brought to you by the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet? And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
What if I wielded the power of the Infinity Gauntlet? I could bend reality to my will with a snap of my fingers.
I just saved money with Geico.
You saved hundreds of dollars.
Nice.
That is a lot of money.
The power is exhilarating. I just got something in my throat. Yeah.
Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame in theaters April 26th.
Wendy's Biggie Bag, huh?
It's everything you ever wanted for just $5.
Everything I ever wanted?
That's right.
A bacon double stack with a quarter pound of fresh beef, nuggets, fries, and a drink for just $5. Wendy's Biggie Bag is everything you ever wanted.
If Old Spice Sweat Defense helps keep me feeling dry, how would they know I worked hard? I've got to make stuff harder. There, that's hard.
A fearless offer deserves a fearless performance. Action!
Get 4 lines of unlimited data for $100 a month plus 4 free smartphones when you switch.
Now jump!
Cut?
Jump!
Lunch?
No! Jump!
Is this a lunch order?
Jump!
Ooh, do they have chimichangas?
Izzy is crazy about boxes. In her lifetime, she'll jump in and out of hundreds. That's why Iams creates delicious recipes tailored to help keep her at her adventurous best. Iams, who I am.
Please, sir, can I have some less?
Chobani, less sugar, miss.
I don't want much. I just want a little bit. I don't want it all. I just want a little bit. With just a itty weeny bit. Just a teeny weeny bit.
Less sugar Greek yogurt from Chobani.
It will be 7th heaven. Here comes Ovechkin, shoots, he scores! Puck is loose, they score! The Carolina Hurricanes have forced a deciding game in Washington.
Introducing a new destination for anyone who wants to grow their money knowledge. For yourself, your family, your future. It's time to invest in you. Ready, set, grow. Go to cnbc.com/invest in you.
So, Frank, you have a big hurt. Why do you need Nugenix?
After 40, a guy loses free testosterone. Even me. I couldn't stay in shape like I used to.
So does Nugenix really work?
Yes. It's the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC.
Okay, great. But does it work for you?
Oh, yeah. My workouts are incredible now. I'm feeling stronger, more energetic, with a lot more drive.
So, say I knew someone who should try Nugenix. How does he do that?
It's easy. Just send a text to get a complimentary bottle.
Frank's right. Now you can claim a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenix by texting EAST to 42424. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And trust me, you'll like the difference too.
Samples are not available in stores, so text EAST to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
They're off in the 2018-19 Premier League title race. And Liverpool are out for the early lead, with Manchester City trying to get a jump on the Reds. And now Chelsea are out in front. Liverpool closing in, but here come Man City again. With Liverpool and Chelsea just behind, noses apart on the lead. Man City trying to hang on as they make their way up the backstretch. Man City followed with Tottenham close behind. But now Liverpool once more. They're into the final furlong. It's going to come down to the wire, and it's too close to call.
That's brilliant stuff there from Larry Commers, the voice of the Triple Crown. And as the race for the Premier League title rolls on, the race for the Triple Crown gets underway next week. Coverage ahead of the 145th Kentucky Derby begins on Thursday, May the 2nd, with the Run for the Roses on Saturday. Now, I will be heading out to Kentucky to co-host Derby coverage. So we decided, let's have a look at what the crew would look like at Churchill Downs. Without doubt, the standout for me, Robbie Mustoe's jockey pose.
Very proud looking guy.
It's incredible. Earl looks like he's just won the
like I mean business on the left there.
Kyle Beardless.
No beard for
£20 90. That's
Arlo very confident on the
looks
left.
like he's on an invisible horse.
It is brilliant stuff. Just to remind you, by the way, that Arsenal are at Wolves today. They're at Molineux, also taking place 2:45 p.m. Eastern on Gold. Lacazette starts. No Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the squad. He has had minor sinus procedure today, so he is not in the squad. But Alexander Lacazette, of course, is, and he will be leading the line. When we come back here on Derby Day, we will be on the pitch to break down every starting player in this most crucial of matches. Extended, comprehensive coverage. We won't be leaving till we're done. Coming next.
Great. Another wireless ad. So many of them are full of this complicated, tricky language about their network and offers and blah, 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 blah. Look, Sprint's going to do things differently. and let you decide for yourself. They're offering a new 100% total satisfaction guarantee. Try it out and see the savings. If you don't love it, get your money back. See? Simple. Now Sprint's unlimited plan comes with one of the newest phones included for just $35 a month. So switch now.
At Domino's, we love pizza as much as you do. That's why we're giving you Piece of the Pie rewards points for eating any pizza from anywhere.
Pizza from here?
Yep.
How about from here?
That's right.
Homemade pizza?
I guess.
Homemade pizza?
That's a little better.
New York style.
Deep dish. Any pizza.
Download the Domino's app, scan any pizza, and you could earn 10 Piece of the Pie rewards points toward free Domino's. That means double points when you scan medium 2-topping Domino's pizzas, just $5.99 each when you order 2 or more.
10 years ago, Brian Ortega was given a choice: continue fighting for his life in the streets of LA, or bring his fighting spirit into the octagon, fighting for gold and his community. Modelo, the official beer of UFC.
1 hour pickup order?
Got it.
Radovink, can I have a big meeting today?
And 2 boxes of Twizzlers.
Yeah, for the team.
The team?
Go team.
Order online, pick up in an hour. Now get an extra 20% off with coupon at Office Depot Office Max.
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely. But Allstate actually helps you drive safely with DriveWise. It lets you know when you go too fast and brake too hard. With feedback to help you drive safer, giving you the power to actually lower your cost. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
It will be 7th heaven. Here comes Ovechkin, shoots, he scores! Puck is loose, they score! The Carolina Hurricanes have forced a deciding game in Washington. He's on the goal line for the line. Oh, how about that?
My son needs this drug. I hope it doesn't cost too much. I hope my insurance pays for it. Can you tell me how much this will be?
67.
Sorry.
Wait, have you heard about GoodRx? GoodRx finds free coupons to help you save up to 80% on your prescriptions.
Wow. I had no idea.
GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions.
We are the dreamers.
We changed the world.
Because we don't give up.
IU can help you live your dream.
IU is an online college, so your campus is wherever you want it to be.
Take classes when you want to take classes.
You receive the tools you need at no extra cost.
Even a brand new laptop and tablet to use in school.
Call IU, then tell them your dream.
1-800-964-2670. 1-800-964-2670.
Manchester United are coming off their worst result in 2.5 years, a 4-0 drubbing at Everton on Sunday, 1 shot on target at Goodison Park. It's been a rocky run for United of late. That is now 6 defeats in their last 8 in all competitions, and that comes after just the 1 loss in the first 17 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The players are yet to come out for their warm-up. We will, I promise you, get to the pitch just as soon as those players take to the field. But Robbie Mustoe, how confident are you that this group of Manchester United players has it in them to respond?
I think they can respond. I think Robbie said it earlier on that we've seen great performances from them as individuals and as team earlier on. They've been awful of late. I think the manager and the group of players now have to take that blame, if you like they took the credit earlier on in the season together. I'm not ready to kind of start throwing out players and throwing out the manager. They're in it together, but they can react. It's a big football club. The support will be there. The atmosphere will be there. There's enough big-time players there. Paul Pogba, others are big-time players in the right situation, so I think they can react. My question would be though, Rob, whether they can maintain that. A 15-minute kind of a mad start, as I think Lee Dixon was talking about, can they maintain that in a sensible way to make it tougher City throughout the game?
Interesting, in the reverse fixture though, Rebecca, they were 2-0 down at half-time. 2 goals from Paul Pogba, 2 in 2 minutes, and a Smalling winner was enough to win the game. So they can show they can do those things. But at the weekend, they didn't lose because of ability and skill and all that. They didn't do the basics. They didn't work hard, they didn't tackle, they didn't press, they didn't do any of the things you have to do as a start. And I think that'll be a given tonight. You'll see the effort and the work rate from Manchester United. If Manchester City are better than them, then so be it.
Which is a whole different problem, by the way.
Yeah,
we're going to see it. We're going to see the effort today, and we didn't see it against Everton. That's a problem.
Well, Manchester United's day, of course, is about the race for the top four. Manchester City's day is about the race for the title. Can they become back-to-back champions? This is the run-in. Away at United today. Then they've got Burnley, Leicester and Brighton. They can forget about the FA Cup final for now. That is not until everything's all done. Liverpool have got the two Barcelona home and away Champions League semi-final games sandwiched in between Huddersfield, Newcastle and Wolves. That is what the run-in looks like. And the Liverpool midfielder, defender sometimes, all-rounder, James Milner's just tweeted this. Training done. Now for a night of planning with the James Milner Foundation. Nothing on TV. Brilliant stuff from the man who won 2 Premier League titles, of course, with Manchester City. Let's take you out to the pitch then. The Manchester City goalkeeper, as he's been all season, Ederson. He has done nothing but his job, Robbie Earle, this season. He hasn't been necessarily standout incredible, but there's been no errors.
No, he's got 10 more clean sheets than David De Gea at the other end. Rebecca, of the two goalkeepers, I didn't think I'd ever be saying this, but I think he's better right now than De Gea. And the one thing I would say that he does offer Manchester City is if United press high and want to try and win the ball, this guy has the ability with his feet to pick out a pass long. He can find Sterling, he can find Aguero, one ball from back to front that can cause problems. So his all-round game and his redefining the role of a goalkeeper is something that City have.
We're beginning to go through every player step by step. We'll move to Alexander Zinchenko. Why do you think Pep's included this youngster today?
Because I think he trusts him. I think he trusts him on the ball. 22 years of age, he's already a Ukrainian international player. Actually more of a midfield player than a fullback, but Benjamin Mendy is back now, but hasn't been consistent and still have issues. I like this player. I think he's got a big future at the football club. And of course with City and with Pep, he likes his fullbacks to come into midfield to be involved in the build-up play. Zinchenko is totally comfortable doing that with his midfield background. I think he's going to be a star of the future now. Only 22 again, great experience and a really nice left foot, very comfortable on the ball.
And a great character apparently off the field as well. So Zinchenko today in that left-back spot. Let's move into the centre-half positions and we're going to talk about Aymeric Laporte, a player of real class, Robbie. We have, though, seen a couple of wobbles the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's funny, back $81 million when he was bought. People were a little surprised, but he's a Rolls Royce when he's on his game. He's been City's most consistent defender. It's been who's played with him, Stones and company, or Otamendi, rather than him coming out. But you're right, we've seen lapses of concentration. We saw a couple last week in the Champions League that cost his team goals. I think he benefits from Vincent Kompany next to him, an old head, an experienced guy, somebody who can talk him through those moments, make sure he's concentrating when his team have so much possession, because that's the thing when you're a centre-back at Man City. You don't have that much to do. Often you're a spectator watching the game, but in the Premier League, quick counter-attacks can catch you, and he has to be aware of those.
You mentioned Vincent Kompany, Robbie Mustoe. Let's talk about the Man City captain. Is he in there for his talent or is he in there for his mentality today?
I think he's in there for both, but predominantly his mentality and his experience. We watched the full interview, Rebecca, of Vincent Kompany before the game, and if there was a state of mind that you want a player to be in going into this game, he was it. He talked about the importance of the derby. He talked about being calm, doing your jobs. Just a tremendous professional. He's 33 now, Rebecca. His contract does end this summer. I would think that the club, I know he's had 3 seasons now of injuries and issues. What a great person to have around the football club. I want him to stay on another season, but he is certainly in there for his experience today and handling the big game atmosphere.
Kyle Walker is no longer a young player. He too now has the experience of the big game atmosphere. Crucial in this game for you?
Yes. Ability, speed, defensive recovery, absolutely tick, no problem. But Lee Dixon mentioned something really important, Rebecca, about emotional control. And I feel at times this guy sometimes loses a little bit of that. Go back to the semi-final of the FA Cup at Wembley against Watford. He goes head-to-head with a Brighton player, and got himself a yellow card, and the manager had to take him off the pitch on that day because he wasn't sure, he didn't trust him. He just has to be in control of himself and the control of the way he plays, because he's such an asset to Manchester City, and he flies down that wing.
Fernandinho missed a couple of games a few weeks ago through injury, and they struggled without him, didn't they?
Yeah, Gundogan did a reasonable job in there. His pass on Gundogan is very good, but he hasn't got this guy's sense of danger, experience in defending a back four. He wants to defend, he wants to intercept passes, he wants to make tackles, and he's really good on the ball. That's why he's at Man City. That's why he's a stunning defensive holding midfield player. The only thing I would say, Rebecca, that we've seen of this guy, and he's experienced now, he's kind of in the same mould as Vincent Kompany, of course, in age and experience. He can sometimes get emotional. He can sometimes just cross the line a little bit. He can sometimes make little fouls, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer talked about it. He does make a lot of fouls to stop the counter-attack. So just one player to watch in that regard. Can he keep his emotions that he normally does, but just now and again he goes over the line?
It is going to be an emotional day. It will be difficult for all the players. Let's move forward to the players that they will use to try and win the game, Arlo, Man City.
And this is where they win so many games, isn't it, Rebecca? Graham, let's start with a little fella called David Silva. When he came on the pitch for Phil Foden at the weekend, did it feel a little bit like Yoda coming on for Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be grateful you called him Yoda, but I mean, he's got magic in his boots, hasn't he? And it's his intelligence as well. When you look at him, Lee, his stats, he's played 29 in the Premier League, 6 goals, 6 assists, which isn't a huge amount. But what I love about him, he's the guy that makes the pass before the guy who assists for the goal. And he's so clever, he's so versatile and so aware, isn't he, as a player? He's just a joy to be on the same pitch with.
He absolutely makes Manchester City tick. He is their tempo man. Gundogan's not far behind him, and he's playing again tonight. And I think the fact that he was rested at the weekend proves how much value that Pep puts in him when he's at a big game, because he takes the ball, he commands the way that City play.
And he hasn't scored in 23 games in all competitions, so he is due. This man scored against United in November. Do you remember he completed that 40-pass move with a lovely finish? Yet to sign a new contract. We don't know what his future is. Fine player, though.
Oh, absolutely, and he's out the mould of David Silva. The way that he runs the game, the way that he takes that control and drives City up the pitch with his forward passes. The amount of times that he finds that little space just behind the defenders, then all of a sudden they're turning, and you think he hasn't actually done much. It's only a 5-yard pass, but it's the timing of it and the place he puts it in front of players ready to run towards it.
And he's in the mould of David Silva as well, in the sense that he can play deeper and let the game go on ahead of him, but he can also break forwards and make sure that the midfielder, the opponent, is on their guard all the time.
In some respects, it's been a breakthrough season for this man, Raheem Sterling, not just as an elite-level player, but as a character fighting back against the tabloid abuse that's come his way. How much has he impressed you this season?
Oh, my word, it's not a breakthrough season, it is this season of his life. I think he's in tremendous form. We spoke to him after the Arsenal game at the Etihad, and we were talking about how he looked like he'd turned a corner in terms of his decision-making. He's got all the ability, we know that, great pace. His decision-making was the problem sometimes, that final pass. Do I make the right pass, or do I overrun it? And he's really come to a level now where his decision-making is absolutely spot on.
He hasn't scored against Manchester United in 15 attempts, so perhaps this is the night for Raheem Sterling. Bernardo Silva, Lee Dixon, loving time.
Oh, it is. Well, David Silva's my man, and then this man pops up and he takes the mantle. It's not easy to do. I think, and this is sticking my neck out here, and obviously Sterling's goals have been fantastic this season, and Aguero's up there for the Golden Boot, etc. I honestly think that this guy could win, or should win, Player of the Season for Man City. The amount of minutes he's played, I think he's third in the list. He's come in and he plays a game that is just dreamy. He keeps the ball, the way he passes the ball. Just watch tonight, when you get him on camera, watch how he passes the ball. He caresses the ball. I just love this guy.
He's such a cheapskate. He only likes both of them, so he only has to buy one shirt with silver on the back of it.
He is the Duracell bunny of a footballer, isn't he? Now, speaking of high quality, top quality footballer, Sergio Aguero, he loves a Manchester derby, Graham, doesn't he? 9 goals in 13 derbies, including 4 here. A man to be feared.
He certainly is, and I think this is, when you get squads like this City squad and the competition is so high, Jesus is a tremendous player. By bringing Jesus into the squad, he made Aguero better. And I just love the versatility of this player, because he's not worried about dropping deep, coming away from goal, running down the side, but he always works really hard to get into a position where he gives himself a chance to score a goal. And my goodness, when he gets in those positions, his ability to score from any position is quite remarkable.
Well, we've got a fantastic position here on the touchline at Old Trafford. It's magnificent. We've got Manchester City warming up away to our left-hand side, but behind us here to our right-hand side, Manchester United are going through their paces. Let's start, Lee, with David De Gea. Now, 48 goals conceded. It's the most by a Manchester United defence in the league since 78-79. He said the performance at the weekend at Everton wasn't fit for the Manchester United shirt. Have his performances suffered recently?
Well, I think he's made a couple of mistakes, some highlighted mistakes that a keeper of his quality doesn't normally make. I still put him in the top 3 goalkeepers in the world. It's not a coincidence for me he's got white boots on and big white gloves, because he makes equally amount of saves with his feet that he does with his hands. He's the best goalkeeper that saves the ball, keeps the ball out of the net with his feet I've ever seen. The amount of times that he gets a foot to, and that's not bad goalkeeping, that's using every part of your body to keep the ball out of the net, and he's the best at it. And I think his standards, there's a bit of speculation now and again when he wants to go elsewhere, etc., that's unwanted, but I think he's absolutely top drawer.
Yeah, contract expires at the end of next season. So Victor Lindelof is next, and we think, Graham, it's a back 5, don't we? Trusted by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he will now have started 22 of 26 games. He's really coming on, isn't he?
Yeah, I like him as a player. He's only 24 years old. And as you rightly say, we're not sure whether they're going to go with a back 4 with him as the left side centre-back, or a back 5 with him as the left side of a 3. He is versatile, but I think this group needs some stability in the shape. They need some stability in terms of who the manager can pick in terms of fitness. And I think he's a good player in a good side. He's an average player in a side that's wobbling, and he's got to make sure tonight that he's absolutely on top of his game.
Chris Smalling will transition to what we think will be part of a back 3. 29 years of age now, just signed a new 3-year contract. His 17th Manchester derby. What are your assessments of him,
Well, centre-backs are all about partnerships. All the lads will tell you about the partnerships they had in their teams with the right-backs, midfield play. Centre-back partnerships is crucial to get, and we've seen that with Man City. To get that partnership right is crucial to the way the spine of the team works. And I think Smalling and Lindelof, it's a partnership that can be good, but I think overall, the way the centre-back position is for United, they need to strengthen. They haven't managed to get that partnership right with Jones in there as well. They're flipping to a back 3 tonight, we think, and that could be the safety blanket that all of those need tonight.
Do you think there's a leader in that team? Now, we've got Darmian alongside, who's going to be the other player, whether he plays full-back or centre-back. But do you think there's a leader in there? I don't see a character like a Company emerging from those 3.
No, you're right, and I think Robbie said before, or heard him say over the mic, that there isn't a centre-back or there isn't a leader in the Man United team like Vincent Kompany, and what they would give for him at the centre-back tonight.
Matteo Darmian, who Jose Mourinho used to call his emergency man, but he looks like he's Ollie's as well. Let's go on to Luke Shaw, who is back after his 2-match suspension after accumulating 10 yellow cards. And he's the man at left back now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's come through a rough time. We obviously know that under Mourinho. He's been battered from pillar to post verbally by the ex-manager, saying he's not fit. I think Luke Shaw's one of those players, and we've said it before, that needs an arm round him. He's one of those players that you don't necessarily need to beat up in the dressing room and say you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. I think you lift him up as a player. Senior pros should know that. You should work a player out like that in the dressing room, put your arm around him, tell him all the good stuff, and I think you get a proper left back. And this guy next to me was a proper left back, and he'll tell you a little bit more.
Well,
probably.
I wish you'd put your arm around me a bit more now. I have to say that. No, but he's got everything. He's got the pace to get forward, the energy to get back. He's got all-round ability either as a wing-back or a full-back.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said to you. Ashley Young completes what we think will be the back 5. Only played the second half at Goodison at the weekend, but says if you can't get up for a Manchester derby, you're doing something wrong.
Well, we talk about characters and reliability, and Ashley Young is that player. I think he was always going to play in this game if he was fit, because you know exactly what you get from him. You know what you get going forwards, and you know his reliability defensively. Now, if they do go with a back 3 and Young plays a wing-back, he's going to really have to help Darmian out, because Sterling's on that side, and we've already said what amazing form he's on. So the communication between the two of them is going to be absolutely vital. Ashley Young's going to need all his experience to help Darmian get through this match.
Well, we've taken you through the men we think will pose the biggest threats for Manchester City, Rebecca, and those at Manchester United who are trying to keep them out. What about those chaps at the other end for United who might try and poach a goal or two?
Let's take it forward then, Arlo. Thank you very much indeed. And we're going to talk Paul Pogba. What are your feelings, Robbie Mustoe, since the Everton game on this man?
I still think he's brilliant. Now, has he been perfect? No. Do you want him to be more consistently brilliant? Yes. It's just, he's got so much talent, Rebecca. I can't agree with the group that say United should get rid of him. His heart's not in it.
Is he committed?
I think he's committed. And there's rumours and little, in the media about this and wanting to get away and all that. The club's job and the manager's job is to get him on board, get him playing good again. Does he need better players around him in midfield? Yeah, maybe he's one of those, Rebecca. Maybe he is somebody that needs a strong defensive midfield player, that he needs another technical creator to play with him. Maybe he is, but not yet to get rid of this guy. I think he's a stunning player.
Let's talk Fred, Robbie Earle. Rate him for me.
Let me tell you about him first, Rebecca. He's a basic A to B passer. He's an up and down midfield player. Watford Football Club sit in 7th position. I wouldn't put him ahead of Capu or Doucouré, who play for them. I think in an era of Manchester United's dominance and winning teams, he wouldn't even make the bench. $67 million was paid for him. I don't see why, I've got to be honest. He gives everything, he works hard, he tries as hard as he could, and that's fine. But in terms of ability, in terms of Manchester United, in terms of what he might have to do today, Rebecca, picking up runners from Manchester City's midfield and Sterling when they come in and Silva, he's got a huge job on tonight.
Andreas Pereira, 5th Premier League start, first since March the 2nd. Is he a player for the future at this club, Robbie?
Well, I think he can stay there for the future, but I don't think he's going to play a lot, Rebecca. There's going to be changes in this club in the summer. More midfield players will come in that will expect to start in position in this midfield. And Andreas Pereira, at 23 years of age, will be a great guy to have at the club. I think he's a nice technical footballer, gets the odd really nice goal. But it might be better for his development if in the next year or so that he goes on loan or he moves from the club, because at 23, you're not kind of that 18, 19-year-old young player that has time to find his way into the first team. So I think in the next couple of years, I think he'll leave.
Let's continue our breakdown of all 22 players. Jesse Lingard, what does he have to work on to play every week, Robbie Earle?
Maybe his end product, 4 goals, 2 assists in 25 Premier League appearances, isn't great. But in fairness to him, he plays a number of roles, and that might be part of the problem, almost being too versatile. He's trusted by managers, Rebecca, that tells me he must be a good trainer. He works hard, and what he does particularly well for United, he's a great guy at setting the trap to start the counter-attack. He's got good energy, he can win the ball and quickly turn into transitions. He'll probably play underneath Rashford today. He's a Manchester-born boy, I think that's important. I think United need to make sure that there is a bit of a local feel about it. But today he's got a big job on, because when City have the ball, he has to get back, maybe get on Fernandinho. But as soon as they win it, he's got to be the man breaking forward and making things happen up front.
Another local Manchester lad, Marcus Rashford, leading the line today. Lukaku on the bench. Same question to you. What does he have to work on? Because he's slightly gone off the boil.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of a little bit like United, isn't it? He was brilliant with this United team under the first few games and months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's not so much at the moment. So consistency is something he's got to work on. He's 21 years of age, so it's still very, very young. But today, he is going to be the main threat. No question for Manchester City, with his ability to run in behind, to make those very clever runs. Vincent Kompany, I gave him a lot of credit just a few moments ago, will have to worry about this guy, because I think Rashford will pull on that side, the right side of City's defence, in those counter-attacking situations, to come in from that left side to shoot with his right. So, he hasn't been brilliant. His numbers should be a little bit better. But again, like Pogba, I believe in this guy and being a part of the future of the club.
In his programme notes today, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says he wants to see his lads, quote, put their bodies on the line in this Manchester derby. They have to bounce back from the Everton defeat. He has made 5 changes. A reminder of the team news is coming next. It is simple for Pep Guardiola and City. Win, and they go top by a point with 3 games to play. Back in a moment.
1 under par on a hole is a
birdie.
That's what I'm talking about. And a score of 2 under par is?
Big birdie.
No, it's not that. It's a turkey vulture. Ricky, I'm sorry, what, turkey? Vulture. Oh, that's turkey. Oh, all right. Go. I'll follow you. Go, 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 go.
Otherwise known as Sand Trap Scavengers. Seen it, covered it. September 29th, 2017. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Wendy's Biggie Bag, huh?
It's everything you ever wanted for just $5.
Everything I ever wanted?
That's right. A bacon double stack with a quarter pound of fresh beef, nuggets, fries, and a drink for just $5. Wendy's Biggie Bag is everything you ever wanted.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else. Why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase relieves your worst symptoms, including nasal congestion, which most pills don't. Flonase helps block 6 key inflammatory substances. Most pills only block 1. Flonase.
What is that?
Mine. Why?
It's just that it's...
Lavender? Yes, it is. It's for men.
But I like the smell of it.
Ago, Brian Ortega was given a choice: continue fighting for his life in the streets of LA, or bring his fighting spirit into the octagon, fighting for gold and his community. Modelo, the official beer of UFC.
I don't care where we go, and I don't care what we do.
There are roadside attractions, and then there's our world-famous on-road attraction. If you've never seen yourself in a Mercedes, you've never seen these offers. Lease the 2019 GLC 300 for just $479 a month at the Mercedes-Benz Spring Event. Hurry in before April 30th.
Introducing a new destination for anyone who wants to grow their money knowledge. For yourself, your family, your future. It's time to invest in you. Ready, set, grow. Go to cnbc.com/invest in you.
Not getting enough cash back with that credit card? Turn to the nerds. Are your credit cards working hard enough for you? At NerdWallet, we sort through hundreds of credit cards to find you the lowest rates and the sweetest perks like balance transfers and travel. Using your preferences to narrow your search, NerdWallet makes it easy to compare and find the perfect card for you. Need the right credit card? Turn to the nerds at nerdwallet.com.
At touchofmodern.com, things you'd never think possible are totally attainable. The shoes are handmade, the furniture glows, the drones fly themselves. And that's just the beginning. Our relentless pursuit of the highest quality in watches, fashion, tech, and home